Well, hello to the future. Gabriel Saint here, writer, artist, director, working out of Los Angeles, California. And today we're going to be doing an automatic drawing. And what is an automatic drawing? Well, an automatic drawing is one that we actively try not to predict, that we actively don't control the outcome of, this image should reveal itself to us as it unfolds over time. The most important parts of this process are kind of getting into a relaxed state, using lines that are flowing and circular that move across the page. And we want to avoid squiggly, short, jagged, pokey, detailed lines to start with. Another thing we want to do is we want to avoid judging the drawing or starting to preconceive what the drawing should look like. We want to just let it unfold naturally in a relaxing way. So the first thing I'll do is just start to draw some lines on the paper in a general area of where a face might be. It's maybe an eye, under a mouth, chin, ear, maybe. I'm also drawing with my left hand instead of my right hand. I don't encourage you to do that starting off. You can if you like. It allows me to not judge myself as much, as my left hand is a little bit weaker than my right. So now you'll see if there's a phenomenon called pareidolia, where humans try to make sense of random patterns, and most of the time humans will turn random patterns into faces. And I'm sure you've seen them before in the grain of wood, or some random objects sitting in a house from a distance look like eyes, nose, mouth. And that's what I'm kind of doing here. I'm laying lines down in a way that kind of trigger that instinct in me. And I'm sure you can see a face here too. And I see a face as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to reiterate the face I see. So maybe there's an eye here. So I'm going to maybe reiterate a pupil, put some darker areas where I want the eye to focus, which is pupils, tear ducts, ear canals, anything along this kind of line here where the eyes might be is where we want the most contrast. In music or film or writing, anything where there's high contrast, it's going to demand your attention. So we'll scribble in some eyebrows here. Again, I'm not trying to control the drawing so much. It's just like, I know there's two nostrils here. There's like a shadow under a nose. So I'll do that. And then I'll do like a Cupid's bow, which is that arch above a lip. And then shadow in one corner of the mouth, shadow in another corner, shadow right in the middle, shadow below a mouth. Maybe there's a chin here. So I know where a face should be, but I'm not trying to control it so much as just kind of move lines around a sheet of paper in a fashion and try to let my imagination start seeing the face. And when it does, I'm gonna just kind of like let the pencil go in that direction. So now what I'll do is I'm gonna take my paper towel. Because we've used a soft charcoal pencil, I can kind of smudge here and bring out some gray tone, bring out some shadows. It's just a regular paper towel, a regular charcoal pencil. This might work with a number 2 pencil, but it doesn't quite work as well with graphite. Really works well with charcoal. As you can see already, just by pushing that paper towel around against this soft charcoal pencil, we start to see a little bit of a third dimension, a little bit of like carving out the image we're looking at. So what I'll do now is I'm going to use my eraser almost like it's white paint, and I'm going to try to bring some of these highlights back. And I'm not going to make any big decisions. I'm just going to reiterate some of the decisions I made earlier. So like just kind of coloring inside the lines. And I want to make sure that I'm not judging that I'm not kind of putting any pressure on myself. I want to make sure that I'm kind of relaxing and I'm just kind of methodically following the process. Process is as much of the art as the end product. And if I feel any frustration, or if I start to doubt myself or doubt the drawing, I try to kind of remind myself to just kind of relax my shoulders, relax my jaw, let go of the day. This is not for work. This is not for a job. This is just for me to relax. And so I'm trying to keep that in my mind this whole time when I'm drawing. And I think you should too. You deserve a second to relax. You deserve a second to kind of breathe and kind of get your day off your chest. And we forget sometimes that that's what art is. So when I'm doing this type of drawing, like, that is more important than the drawing itself. It's like, am I staying relaxed? Am I allowing myself to get into that flow state? Because that's really what my end goal here is, to do a drawing that comes out in, like the name, like automatically, where like drawing your, like writing your signature, it almost just falls out. And I'm just following the drawing and getting to meet the drawing just like the viewer is. And it takes some practice, not just drawing, but giving yourself permission to make a mistake and appreciate the mistake. Nothing's set in stone. It's just a sheet of paper and some charcoal. There's no reason to kind of doubt myself or be hard on myself about something. It's kind of nice to just relax and let the image unfold in front of me. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just actively let the image unfold in front of me. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll add some darker darks and lighter lights. So let's kind of start to define these pupils a bit more. And it's easy to make a decision on where the pupils are now because they've kind of revealed themselves to me over time. I didn't really have to do a whole lot of measuring. And I'm not kind of worried about whether they're placed perfectly next to each other, whether they're on the same. None of that really kind of matters in what we're doing here. Really, all I'm doing is just, like I said, more focused on what's going on in my mind. There's some learning you can do here where, yeah, sure, I'm drawing a picture of a face, kind of, but I'm also kind of getting to learn the way my brain works. I start to panic, I start to judge the drawing, I start to judge myself, and I have to remind myself, hey, that frustration that you're feeling, that little bit of anxiousness, that's just what you feel right before you have like a creative breakthrough. Hey, what up, Astayu? Thanks for joining. How are you? How's your day? I'm just doing some videos for the YouTube channel. I'm almost done here. But yeah, like I was saying, frustration is the precursor to a breakthrough, not just in art, but also kind of in your life. And if you're drawing and you're getting frustrated and you're learning to get through that frustration and you can predict what you're going to do when you feel frustrated. You can kind of predict, what moments that you get frustrated in, and you could carry those lessons into your life because, I can start to see that certain moments of frustration aren't telling me, hey, go back. Certain moments of frustration are really saying, hey, you're on the precipice of something new. And I can take those little lessons from these dumb little drawings into my life where maybe I will feel a little bit of that pressure in my life to do something perfectly. And then like remember how that pressure felt drawing and remember that, I can just relax, find my flow state in life just like I can with my drawing, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And if I feel a little bit of that frustration in my life, just like I do when I'm making these drawings, I remind myself that the frustration is just the precursor to a breakthrough. So if I'm feeling some frustration in my art or in my life, I've learned through the process that there's a breakthrough around the corner. I'm gonna add a little bit of a highlight here in his pupil. And I think you can remember that too, that little bit of frustration in your life, that little bit of frustration in your artwork. Sometimes it means keep going. It means you're almost there, you know? I'm using an electric eraser here to kind of really kind of bring out some of these highlights, kind of a detailed fashion. And I think that's it. I don't want to overwork our fella here. Last but not least, we'll do a signature. Try to put it equal distance from the bottom and the side. Try to find somewhere where it's kind of most comfortable. We've got some negative space over here, so maybe I'll put it here, or maybe in here. Let's put it in here. I'll try to put it somewhere kind of nestled neat. What I'm not going to do is put it all the way up against the bottom or all the way up against. I'm going to make sure that it has a nice bit of a border between my signature and the side of the image. It's a pro tip. And there we have it. Thank you so much for hanging out. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Please like, subscribe, comment, join the Twitch, join the Discord, share some art with me. Comment, tell me a little bit about how you've used art to get a bad day off your chest. Maybe try this process at home with a piece of charcoal. Come back here and share the results with us. Join the Discord, share your scribble drawings with me. I'm a writer, a director, and an artist working out of Los Angeles, California. This is my man. You can go check out some of my films on Tubi. I'm a director. You can search Gabriel Saint. Check out my films there. They're called American Serial Killer is one of them, and the other one's called Ghostlight. But you can search up Gabriel Saint on Tubi.tv. Some free feature films if you like horror films. And this is my man. We'll see you back here next time. What, you think I was going to forget? If you're dealing with some bullshit in your life, some drama from your mama, you're dealing with conflict with your family or your friends or school or just conflict within yourself, is your cat bullying you? Seriously, if you've had a bad day or a bad week, or if you're dealing with things, don't forget that you can take it out on art. You can take out all that negative energy. You can draw a picture about it. You can write a poem about it. You can make a film about it. You can draw a cartoon or a comic book about it. But what I don't want you to do is take it out on yourself. Don't take it out on your loved ones. Don't take it out on your community. Take it out on art. Sometimes we forget that's what art is for. It's to express ourselves. Get all that bullshit off your chest into your artwork. Appreciate you being here. Take it out on art. Take it out on art. Be gentle with yourself and the world.
See you next time.